Hello and welcome to Tuesday's vlog. I might miss a couple out this week. A, because we're busy, and B, I've got some content on the new car, but I might leave that till next week when I'm on holiday, and it gives us a bit of a backup to upload stuff, so we'll see. But it's a busy week this week, so I'm not sure how much I can show, so don't expect to see in-depth videos of repairs or anything like that this week. Simply can't be done. So what we've got in: 19 plate Corsa. It's ready for its third year, its first MOT, 3 years next month. It's actually too early to have it done, so it's just getting the service done today. Absolutely filthy, the oil coming out of it. I've just done the oil filter. Really nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Pretty much a new car. It's only got like 8,000 miles on the clock. Just the usual things. All the bits that Vauxhall leave exposed when you come to ever need to do brake pipes, coat them up on the edges here, as you can see. Probably would help if I got a light. Just grab one. You can see that, just coating the exposed bits. There's no point in doing the pipe because they're plastic coated. So all you need to do is the exposed bits that cause you bother a long time down the line on this car, obviously, when you need to come changing brake pipes. So that's on this one. We've reset the service light on it, done the oil filter. What else was that on it? Just the basic checks, tyres, levels, all the rest of it. So that's ready. It was meant to be for MOT, but we've discovered it's actually too early to go in. I think it was registered sometime in, what month we're in now? April, May, but towards the end of May. So if we're MOT it now, it's not. It's just good. It's pointless doing it. So we're doing the service today on it in a pre-MOT in what I did to the guy's L200, an end of warranty check. So I'm not just checking for. Remember, MOT is done to minimum standards. Servicing standards are completely different. So basically, to fail an MOT, something has to be practically dangerous. Where for a service, you want something changed before it becomes dangerous. So we're going through like a one step above servicing. Just if there's anything not right, a little whip on a shocker, just anything that catches your eye that's not right, we'll spot it, and they've got a month to get it into Vauxhall. But last time I did that, Vauxhall played a nasty trick to the guy and says, oh, well, we're running a month ahead, we can't book you in. Therefore, when he comes to book in, the car will be out of warranty, which I think is a bit shocking. I think as long as you're reporting it before the warranty's ended, that's their problem if they can't get you in a month to not validate the warranty. Delivery driver just come there, totally forgot about the other job that this course is in for. Not massive, but the wipers to the point where they're actually scratching the windscreen. And on this, these have got heated windscreens like the Fords. They must have the patent off Ford somehow. But I cannot believe the price of these wipers for a Corsa. I mean, they're going to be pushing not far off 40 quid for an exact fit set of wipers. Disgusting. And that's also, God knows what Vauxhall charge. The other thing we've got in, you'll recognise this from one of my previous videos a few weeks ago, hybrid Yaris. This is in for MOT, so just a quick once-over to see if there's anything wrong. But I think the old guy's been doing some kind of off-roading or something. To be ever looking there, well, in our wheel arch line has been split, which we've seen. There was something down here. Is it this thing all roving to bits? And underneath, it's had a nasty smack on this cross member. So he's obviously been doing some kind of something he shouldn't be, off-roading or something, God knows what. So luckily none of that's part of the MOT. We've just put a cable tie onto this here just to keep it back and away from rubbing on the wheel. So yeah, so that's this. And as you can see, with it being a hybrid, in case anybody's interested, that's your high voltage cables. They're the things that you keep well clear of. I mean, clearly you can touch them, there's nothing wrong with that, but just if you're messing on doing anything under the car with jacks or anything like that, just be very careful of these, because if you penetrate through them, you're into big trouble. And obviously that's where the cabling goes up through under the back seats where the battery pack is kept. So there's your hybrid Yaris. We'll have a quick walk outside. I'm only going to keep this brief. Just going to show you the other cars. I've had an Amazon delivery there, as I mentioned, while we're in the caravan next week. Any of you guys out there with dogs? Obviously, we're coming up with the tick season. These are fantastic. They're what they're called a tick. They used to be called a Tomo brand, but I think they're Otom. Get yourself one of them, I swear to God, the best things ever. for getting ticks out of dogs. Never mind all this. Obviously, you give them the medication, but they're great, them. So just decided to buy another pack. I've got a pack here at work. I've got a pack at home, and I've put this one in the caravan. So that's going to go in my pocket. Right, to the cars outside. I'll show you one of them when it's up on the lift, because it'll probably be quite interesting to see the state of these tyres when it's on the lift. This one, as you can see, it's lovely little car actually, because it's the 1400, so it's got a nice bit of poke, and it's the automatic. But we did the heater motor on this a few weeks ago, but obviously we warned her that the front tyres were getting a bit low and other bits and bobs, but it's well used, we shall say. It's actually, that is good, as last time it was in, the rubbish was up to there on that side, and obviously me and Simon, who helps out on the channel occasionally, we had to change the heater motor down in there, and that was like full with stuff. So yeah, luckily today all the work's hopefully going to be on the outside. Basically, it's in for MOT next week, but as you all know, oh shit, I've just seen that. When they mentioned the light was hanging out, I didn't realise they meant literally hanging out. Going to have to sort that. What I'll probably do, I'll check on the MOT. Yes, I know I'm an MOT tester, but I don't know the MOT guide. Like, you know, as if you've got to, every time you test a car, you've got to what you call refer to the manual. But I'm sure front fog lights only come in, I think somewhere around about 2017. So the simple thing with that is just to disconnect it and remove it. And this here, we'll have to do something about that. Maybe tape it down or something. It might not look great. There we go. Give it a whack. Get them clips back in. It's not gonna look nice. Just a little bit of duct tape, clear stuff or something on there, just to stop that from popping out. But yeah, that light, as you can see, hanging down there like that. So with that, yeah, that's just simply going to get disconnected and the wires tied away. All the brackets no doubt will be smashed, so the fact to put the new light in isn't really an issue. Just get it through the test. It's not part of the test, I don't think, on an 09, so that's that. This was in a mini something. I lose track what these things are. Clubman, aren't they? Something like that. Countryman. Whatever, a 5-door mini. I have very little interest for these. The only minis that I like are the original, not the original little ones, because I personally think they are money pits to get involved with. Now they're so expensive. But the original minis that started like on a Y-Reg up to the 06, and the only ones of those I would touch is the ones with the Toyota D4D. If you ever get a mini, an original one between a 50, like a Y-Reg and an 06, if you get the diesel one, it's got the Toyota D4D in, cracking little engine, good little car actually, or the Cooper S, but the supercharged one. I know they've got their issues, it's a Chrysler engine that's in them, but any of these minis after 06, they're just Citroen Peugeot rubbish in them. And these ones, I don't even know. There's some form of Citroen Peugeot at some point in them, and then they've moved over to BMW. But even so, just, I don't know. I don't even like the look. It looks like a bit of a black cab from the back, doesn't it? Not my idea of fun, put it that way. I've got the key for it in my pocket. We'll have a quick look round it. But all this is in for today is MOT and just the usual checks, adjustments, stuff like that. I think this is like the 3-cylinder. Oh, that's what it was. You need to check the oil for the MOT. But it doesn't have a dipstick, does it? So that's actually what I was going to do for my dad, is check the oil. So as a mechanic, you've got to sit like a prat in the car to check the oil. So do you want to join us for the journey? I might have to switch this off in case the music comes on, which it did. So now we need to go into my Mini, I think. Have a look down. Somewhere down here. Vehicle, tyre pressures, oil level, engine oil level okay, but there was usually other measurement only possible after longer drive, approximately 30 minutes. So there you go. Tell me if that's not a load of shit. Just to check your oil on your car before long journey or regular maintenance, you've got to go for a drive for 30 minutes to be able to check the oil. Is that just me, or is that just pathetic? And the reason for why, there is no dipstick. So they decide to take away the dipstick and put a system in which you try and get somebody who doesn't know about cars to find that menu. Then when you do find the menu, it says you need to go for a drive for 30 minutes. And we're on about pollution, remember? You know, keeping the planet green and all this. So to check the oil on a Mini, you have to go out and do a 30-minute drive just to check the oil. You tell me, where's the sense in that? So I've decided I'm not waiting 30 minutes. When we drive the car later on, I might do it then. Just simply can't do that. What do? Do I charge the customer 30 minutes to go for a drive? It doesn't even say you've got to sit and have it idling. It says you've got to go for a drive for 30 minutes. Pathetic. That's why I hate servicing these things as well. Yeah, I'll leave that here. What we'll do is we'll get that Corsa up on the lift and I'll come back to you when I've got that Corsa on the lift. We'll see what state that's in underneath. Right, we'll do the walk round checks on the Corsa. See how bad it is. Side lights. As you can see, there's definitely not going to... I'll be damned if that works. Yeah, that one's a little bit dull, but it's alright for the test and they're a right pain to change. Headlights. Champion. These are a pain to change the dip beams on these. They're working, that's happy days. Indicator this side. That one. Yeah, main beams again. Yeah. Fog lights, if we're there. It actually works. Can you believe that? Yeah, happy days. There we go, that one's working. Let's have a look round the back. I know there's ones out here because you mentioned it was the other week. So these have 2 tail lamps. So remember, with these are a bit of a funny one for a test, you see. So it states if there's more than 50% of the lamp working still, it's a pass. Or if it's less than 50% of the lamp light source is working. Yeah, so a bit of a funny one, these. So like if you had 2, obviously one off completely, but if you had one off and another one on, it's like a pass and advise, you know. So that's why I always like cars with 2 tail lamps, because the 3-door ones of these actually have three bulbs make them up, and there's some cars have 4. So as you can see, we've got one out here at the top, that one, but I do know that that's the stoplight. So if you do the stoplights, you see how the left one's not working. So that, obviously, because we see that bulb's not working, so that needs done. We'll have a look at the number plate lights. And they aren't one off. But again, like I've mentioned to you, that would be a straight pass and advise, because we give it a knock. Wait, for a start now, that's back on. So now they're both working, but even if you've got 2 and only one's working, pass and advise. But if you can give them a tap like that, they normally start to work. Fog lights. Yep, that's on. Reverse. Reverse aren't really part of the test, but yeah, see, we've got one off at this side, but it's not part of the test. So, and these are a bit of a strange bulb in these, which I don't think we keep in, so I'm just not going to get involved with that. Indicators, again, we're checking if they're orange. That one's perfectly fine. The other side, that one's fine as well and working. So there we go, there's the check of the bulbs. I think I showed you this on the last video, part of the test. The pre-checks, and obviously the test is to check the seal on the petrol cap, which it's got. Otherwise that would be a fail, or if the cap was missing or defective or anything like that. And obviously inside, seat belts, these have a tendency for the centre ones to jam. Check they're right, remember, you keep some weight on it and release it, because they've got to release when there's weight on them. I just leave these plugged in, just to let the customer know that we've checked them. But this here, you see, this, I'm going to check the back, but this is okay, but naturally your securing point is that actual seat back for the centre one, so I'm just going to check that all's fine, and we'll get the seat belt, the back seat, just put straight to where it needs to be in the correct position like that. It's just better for the test. Again, checking all these, checking that the release with weight on them. And obviously my dad's checked the front one in the front, and the driver's one for any cuts or fraying. I've got to try and get through that to get the light out, because they're a bit of a pain on these. Right, we've got the light out. The phone decided to continue recording, so for the few minutes it's easier just to re-record it than trying to edit. Too bad actually, the 5-door ones, it's just 2 little wing nuts that come off like that and you pull it out. I can't remember if I'm repeating this, I can't remember if I said this on the last video or this one, but the best way with these to know if you've got a bulb out on these Vauxhalls, any of them, is when you go on, it'll say INSP, that's your standard service light, and then there it says INSP2. So INSP2 is basically the car's way of telling you you've got a bulb out. So if you've got a Vauxhall, it's INSP2, you've got a bulb out or a malfunction in the system. There is INSP3 and 4. I think one of them's for like if you've got a diesel and it's got water in the fuel filter. There's one of them mean for that, but that's what that is. So with these, we've got the bulb out. Don't get yourself mixed up with these. Like I mentioned, this top bulb is your stop and tail. These make no sense. So you see, there's a dual filament bulb here, which only does the side lamp. Now the top one here, what had blown, is a single filament, and that does your stop and tail. So you've got a single filament bulb that does the job of 2, yet a dual filament bulb that does the job of 1. And the only way I can work this out on these is if that bulb goes out, that one should do the stop lamp. But it didn't, as you've seen, and it's not blown. So it's a bit of a strange one. I don't know why these come like, it must be from when they're in a different country or something. But there you go. There's the new bulb, just all at the old bulb. All I'll say is just be very careful when you're dealing with these clusters. Make sure the bulb you're taking out is the same as the one that goes in. But more to the point, if it doesn't feel right when you take it out, don't just put it in thinking that it's right, because somebody in the past might have put the wrong bulb in. Some of the older cars, not the new ones, they normally have, oh sorry, this one does. What they normally find is they have them written on what bulb it is. So that's just a P21W, which is the single filament. And if you look for that one, I'll just rub it off. I don't know how clear this is going to be on camera. And you see that there? See, P21-5, which is your dual filament. So always refer, if you can, to what's on. But 9 times out of 10, if it looks all correct and new, you simply put in what you take out, you know. But there we go. There's a single filament. We'll get this built back up, and we'll see if the stop lamp and the other tail lamp's working. And the INSP2 has gone off on the warning system. Right, that's it back in. Now it's a moment of truth to see if it actually works. So we'll see if, for a start, on the dashboard, the INSP2's gone off. So no INSP2. Go down, put the side lamps on. Do you want to press the brakes? There we go. So obviously 2 at that side now, 2 at this side now, and obviously as you watch, when the brakes are put on, it will go brighter. There we go. Just knock the side lamps off. And brakes. There we go. Spot on. Job done. The thing I will say, since we have to disconnect, I don't know if the front fog lights on these are running through that system. I don't think they do, but that's going to be the only thing. When we disconnect that light, I'm probably going to undo the work that I've just done, and it'll come up as INSP2 again, but that's clearly because something's been disconnected. So we'll have a look. We've just been doing some basic checks. Oil, antifreeze was low, like she mentioned. Probably the screen wash wasn't working. Have you topped that up, are you? Or no? Not yet. We'll put some in that, because obviously, as you can see, it's part of the test, but the only thing is the inside of the windscreen on this car is dirtier than the outside, so it's not working. Hopefully, for our sake, I'm hoping it's just going to be put some water in. Quickly off topic, actually, what I will say with these Corsas is be very careful when you're dealing. I'll just get this onto here. When you do deal with anything up here around the wipers, they're like a Fiat Punto, these. Just if you ever got to change a spring, because you've got to do that, just be careful, because the wiper linkages on these can be very delicate on them, and you can end up having problems with them. It's the same system as in the Fiat Puntos, which have been plagued for years with wiper motor mechanism problems. So we'll get this topped up, top the screen wash up, top the oil up, and we'll get it up on the lift, and I'll join you when it's up there. As you can see with this, I've topped the screen wash up, but there's your coolant, completely dry. But we'll just see if the screen wash works. I'm going to stand back because I don't want to get caught. Will it or won't it? Not sounding good, but it was completely empty. There we go. It's beginning to lose hope there. Perfect. That has been dry for a long time. Why people are driving round, and that is salt on the roads at the minute, just not putting some screen wash in. Can't really understand it myself, but there we go. There's the screen wash done. Now it'll probably end up taking about a litre of antifreeze. I still need to get round to checking the oil, but I'll get the antifreeze topped up and then we'll check the oil. So that's that topped up there. It actually took about a litre, so it was quite low. I think it's got a weep on the radiator. Again, it's not part of the MOT as long as it's not pouring out. Oil, yes, this is a petrol. Look at that for black for you. It's on the level though, it's a tiny, tiny little one notch above the full. That's perfectly fine, that's just getting left. Oil switches on these are common, which is starting to get damp. I think I'm just going to write a little manual, not for the MOT, but just on the bill. They're only less than a 10 of these things, that might be advisable. But we need to find out what's going on underneath, so I'll get that cap on and we'll get it checked over underneath. Just quickly, in the middle of this, because I'm testing to see if people actually watch the videos through, I'm going to start putting little messages in between videos, just to see if people watch them right through, because I've got no way of checking. So, you request longer videos, so I'm just checking that if I'm doing the longer videos, you watch through the centre of them. Right, I've got a new project yesterday. As you know, I picked up my dad's new car yesterday. I'm going to leave that video till next week, I think, when I'm on the campsite. I've just got to cross my fingers it's good enough 4G that it'll upload when I'm there. If it isn't, that'll just be a complete blank next week, unless I get, when we're going to Durham and stuff, if there's somewhere with good Wi-Fi. But as you can understand, when I'm having my family days out, even if I go into a pub with Wi-Fi, it'll probably be rubbish, and I'm certainly not going to sit there for 2 hours waiting for a video. I'm saying that though, I will say that the signal is normally quite good on my phone, and I'm pretty sure where it is in Durham, it should be okay. And I'm hoping it's going to be okay, because that's how we use our telly. We use the Amazon Fire Stick, and I use my phone as a mobile hotspot. And I've got 160 gig to use, and I've just upgraded Holly's phone last month, so she's got 160 gigs. So what I might even do is if I somehow, which I doubt, get low on data, switch up, log on her phone to watch the telly and stuff, and use mine to do the uploads. But I very, very much doubt I'm going to run over that. So, got a new project. I'll give you a little clue and leave a comment below what you think it is, but I'm not going to give too much of a clue because it'll probably give it away. It's a 2-door coupe, and that's it. And I'll give you another clue. No, I haven't bought my Laguna coupe back off Chris, just before anybody says that one. So, it's a 2-door coupe. And please, there's a few people who watch my channel who have messaged separately. Didn't leave the comment, obviously, in there. In fact, if you have read this, just leave the comment in and go, yeah, I already know, or something like that. But there's a few of yous on there. I don't want to mention names. Chris, I think, Chris, I've spoke to you. Simon, he knows. And I think the other guy, I'm sure he's called Chris as well. If it isn't Chris, it's the guy who I've been speaking to on Facebook. Quite, my mind's gone blank. Jackson. So yeah, just see what you think. So we'll get this Corsa up. I might even bring the project in to do some checkovers this afternoon, but I'm not going to put it on the video because I'm going to keep that as totally separate. So we'll get the Corsa up in the air and we'll see what is right and what is wrong with it. I'm hopefully, with these, probably we have a broken front spring or something, but we'll have a look. We'll see how bad things are. Right, we've got this Corsa on the lift. We'll have a quick look. I haven't actually checked much of it, but just the first signs of the obvious, what I mentioned. We tried securing the lamp up into place, but it's got that much damage in here. We've just secured the wiring up. I think it has been anyways. Tied up, just out the way up there, so it doesn't get caught on anything. Removed what's left of the fog lamp. No good having that hanging around. Obviously that is part of the test, by the way, because even though they're not part of the test as in to work, if you've got something hanging loose which potentially could come hanging loose, which could come detached and hit somebody, naturally that could come loose, and it's not that hard, but it would cause an issue if it come off on a moving car and hit somebody. So there we go, that's that done for the test. The top part of the bumper, we've just super glued it so it's not loose. There's all this stuff here is not really part of the test. Checking that's secure. We'll have a look at these bad boys, these tyres. Let's grab the torch. As I keep saying, these cars are driven around with kids in. 3 kids on board. No screen wash. Lights not working. Look at that. There's your 6 1.6 mil has just absolutely voided tread completely across the full circumference of the tyre. And this one is really just as bad. Right across the line. Always worrying. Because you remember, just because whatever, this is my biggest point on the roads, these idiots flying about and stuff. Not this car doesn't fly about, but you can be the safest driver as you want. Your car can be as best as you like it. But it's not up to you, it's the other people driving towards you, you know? So you can have the best, newest car, you can say you never use cheap tyres, you keep your car serviced, your brakes are spot on. That's all fair, well and good, but when you've got stuff like this flying about coming towards you, 60, 70 mile an hour, hence what I say, when people joke on about stuff and they go, I'm getting, well, my money's worth out that tyre and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's funny to a degree, but you wouldn't be laughing if that was your child or family member who gets hurt, or God forsake, even worse. Which, you know, is it that much to ask? If you drive a car, check your tyres even once a month, you know what I mean? Yeah, screen wash, keep it topped up. How long does that take? Pull the bonnet thing, jug of water in. But no, you're driving along at 70 mile an hour, you're behind a lorry or something, your screen's full of salt, can't see where you're going, have an accident. Is 2 minutes to fill your screen wash up really worth it? I don't know, but that's just seems to be the way of life at the moment. Everything on this, I was looking around the back there, this back tyre looks fine. This one's fine. Shockers, the dust boot on this one is loose, but that's not actually part of the test. It's not leaking. I'm going to put a bit of wax oil around here. Back springs look fine. I'm going to bring it down and check all the play on the front tyre, front wheels, check the inner sides and everything. But I cannot see that being much. I'm trying to look round there, that's fine. That one's fine. I did notice the front springs were original, which isn't a good sign, but you never know. We might get lucky, let's find out. Yeah, looks can be deceiving. I expected that to be a lot more wrong with this car, but there isn't. Original front springs as well. Just watch, they'll probably break between this Tuesday and next. But they're fine, not broken, great. Brake pads are actually alright, the discs are fine. Obviously we know about the tyres, the bushes on the wishbone arms, all the boots are fine. No play on them. Naturally, I've already explained, I'm using a lamp in one hand, phone in the other. I can't demonstrate that. As you can see, that spring's fine. Discs are fine. All the bushes are fine. Down there on the wishbone arm, which for some reason is going blurred. Round to the back, as I mentioned, the shocker boots are hanging down, but again, it's not part of the test. The shockers aren't leaking. They could be doing with repair, but if you're going to go replacing them, you've got to strip everything down. It's probably just a better idea to change the full shocker units. But, of course, people don't have that kind of money. We'll take it up and we'll have a look. Right, a quick flick underneath. Like I say, I'm going to coat those at the bottom, bit of protection. The springs are fine. We've already seen them when it was like up before. They're fine. Brake lines are all fine. Rear axle bushes, I've checked them. They're fine. Exhaust system, that's okay. A little bit of corrosion on the hangers, but it's all perfectly fine, secure. Along with the brake lines, well, they're the fuel lines, brake lines at this side. Put a little bit of coating. If you note, that brand new Corsa out there, well, the 19 plate one, this one's a, what is it, 09? That's what they go like. So for the sake of just putting a little bit of protection in onto them, that's the hassle you save yourself. So again with these, massive issue with these Corsas / Fiat Puntos, these front subframes rot out. They are absolutely horrendous. But this one is fantastic condition due to one reason, the fact it's got an oil leak. That has actually helped matters. But again, like my Jeep, I think this one is, yeah, if you look at the reg on this, my Jeep's LY, this is LD, it's a London car. Obviously it's spent most of its time over there, Croydon. So always, if you get a car, this isn't gospel, because it doesn't matter. A car can be, say, registered in Scotland and get shipped down to London. Don't take it as 100%. But if you ever buy a car with an S on the number plate, and it's been in Scotland for a long period of time, naturally Scotland have longer winters, they use loads of salt. As a rule, I always tend to find if a car's got an S on the number plate, the new style number plates, you'll tend to find they'll be absolutely rotten underneath. Where if you get an L plate, you've all seen my Jeep, an 04 plate, and that's LY, and I have never seen a car in such good a condition underneath. Yet I've got cars with S on the number plates, and I've never seen cars with Subaru underneath. So, little rule, but it's not 100%. So as you can see with this, that's perfect. And I'll tell you where the oil leak's coming from now on this. A little bit from the oil switch, which I showed you at the top, but mainly crankshaft oil seal. What I could put in this is an oil leak sealer, but the oil is like tar. So with this car, you have to watch, if you do an oil change on this with some nice new thin oil, you'll tend to find it'll leak 10 times harder. So I'm going to leave this, because as you can see, this car's sat here for well over nearly 2 hours now. That's just water, ignore that. There's no drips. And as for an MOT, you have to put a sheet of paper down, and if it's visibly dripping sort of I would have to look up the exact times, but if it's every sort of like 30 seconds or a minute it's dripping, then it's deemed as a fail, where this hasn't dripped whatsoever. So what I'm going to do with this is just get a little bit of solvent on it, get a rag and just give it a bit clean up. No issues there whatsoever. Like I've said, inner discs, you know, again, I expected this thing to be grubby as anything, and they're some of the best discs I've seen. So never judge a book by its cover. The inner pads, the front ones, I'm not putting it even anywhere near on an MOT advisory, but you can just see up there, for some reason, I don't know why it likes to go blurred, they are just getting low slightly, and I would just put a note on there, maybe it's a couple of months after the MOT, just to put a set of pads on, and it'll be a shame to ruin those good condition discs as well. And obviously the reason why, it's an automatic, so it's quite reliant on the front discs to kind of eat the pads, so it's nothing new to kind of see good discs on an automatic, but at the same time they eat the pads, which aren't very expensive. So there we go, that's mainly as much as I'm going to do on this, really. Just going to go over and get the tyres done. Naturally, I'll be sending them over there, because it's not worth driving on those. But yeah, that's the Corsa. A couple of little advisories on the dust boots on the back, the front pads, tyres done, the bulbs. You've seen, I expected a lot worse. Honestly, you get cars coming in absolutely gleaming, and you sit with your feet up thinking, this is going to be an easy day, and it bites you in the arse. I tell you, never ever assume that a flipping car is going to be good or bad until you check it like that. This car, I really did expect that to be a lot of work. I'm talking like multiple broken springs, ball joints hanging off, and you name it. And as you've seen at the beginning of the video, fog lights hanging down on the floor, flipping everything. No screen washing, baldy tyres. You'd expect the thing to be a nightmare, and it hasn't been. And that's your day-to-day life with jobs. And I suppose, regardless of what you work on, boilers, God knows what, you'll go in expecting to be a 5-minute job. Something goes wrong and it's anything but. So yeah, we'll leave that one here today. Oh, sorry, hold on. I've just had a car just pulled in. This thing, I haven't got time to do this, because if I record it, it's going to make the video run too late. It's a hybrid Mercedes estate. I don't know what it's called. I don't even know, what is it? I think this would be an E-Class or a C-Class. Quite a nice car, I have to admit. Quite a nice car. And when you have a look at the interior, I like a bit of wood, and this wood in here is unbelievable. That is nice. And I know it's modern technology and stuff, but isn't that... Close that down. That is a nice... And I'm not big on wood, but that's lovely. Lovely, lovely interior, that, mind. Full glass roof as well. Very nice. What is it? It's some kind of hybrid or something. The C350E. I don't even know what size engine is in it. Obviously, I'll be opening the bonnet shortly to do a reg check. There's another London car, you see, LP. Basically, the screen wash isn't working. The pump's running away. The screen wash is full, so I suspect the filter's clogged. But it means up on the lift, wheel off, wheel arch liner out, and hopefully wherever the tank is, get to the little filter, the little gauze, and clear it out. But I bet you there'll be more to it, and I bet you it'll be the pain in the arse. I bet, especially with it being a hybrid. I hope there's no I'm going to have to check, like I showed you on the Yaris, that there's none of them high voltage cables running where we need to work. High voltage cables, water. Doesn't mix. They're all fully IP, whatever it is, fully waterproof, naturally to be outside and on the road when it's raining. But not a nice thing, I wouldn't have thought, dealing with a screen wash bottle and a high voltage electric cable. I would record it, but it'll just be my head in a wheel arch, mucking on, there's nothing to see. So I'll leave this one here. Thanks for watching. Like I said, this week's busy. It's going to be hit and miss what I can get, and when I do, and I apologise, they're probably going to be late on night times, because I've got some personal things I need to get on with on different nights this week, plus sorting the caravan, because we're away Saturday morning. So if anything's missed out or a bit hitty-missy, I apologise. And in advance, next week, it's just going to be stuff that I've been doing, like my new project, my dad's new car and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit the like. Remember what I said about me comment in the middle about my new project? Leave a comment. Any clues if you want them, or if you've got any ideas what you think it is. But please, the people who already know what it is, don't spoil it. You can write something, but don't straight away put up what it is. I'll probably stick a video of that on by the end of the week, just a basic walk around I'll probably record that this afternoon, a basic walk around of it as it stands before I do anything to it. But I've gotten it for a reason. Shall I tell you why or not? No, I'll leave that for the main video. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you tomorrow.